Sophia clutches her son on a snowy Boston street while black SUVs surround them. Adrian stands in front of them in a black coat, shielding them from armed enemies as snow falls under streetlights. The child's drawing should have meant nothing. It was just crayon on paper. A crooked house. A lighthouse. A woman with brown hair. A little boy holding her hand. And beside them, drawn in dark blue crayon, was a man with black eyes standing beneath a strange symbol, shaped like a broken crown. But when Adrian Moretti saw it, the entire mansion went silent. The charity gala had ended badly. 1 hour earlier, Boston's wealthiest families had filled Adrian's winter estate with champagne glasses, diamond necklaces, string music, and polished smiles. The event was supposed to raise money for children's hospitals. Adrian hosted it every year because rich people loved pretending their guilt could be softened by candlelight. Then someone fired a shot outside the ballroom. Guests screamed. Security moved. Children cried. The music stopped. And somewhere in the panic, a little boy dropped a folded piece of paper on the marble floor. Now Adrian sat alone in his private study, the snow falling thick beyond the tall windows, staring at the drawing as if it had spoken his name. His head of security stood across from him. "We found it near the ballroom entrance," Matteo said carefully. "Probably one of the children from the charity group." Adrian did not answer. He touched the broken crown symbol with his thumb. For 10 years, he had not allowed himself to feel surprise. Surprise got men killed. Emotion got men betrayed. Hope got men buried. But this drawing had opened something inside him that should have stayed dead. "Who was the child?" Adrian asked. Matteo hesitated. "We're checking the guest list." "No." Adrian's voice was soft. "Check everyone. Staff, volunteers, teachers, drivers. Every child who entered this house tonight." Matteo nodded. "Of course." Adrian's hand tightened around the paper. "And Matteo?" "Yes, boss?" "Find him before Russo does." Matteo's face changed. Because he understood. If Vincent Russo learned what Adrian had just seen, the child who drew this would not be safe for another day. Sophia Bennett woke the next morning with a bad feeling and an empty refrigerator. Snow pressed against the small kitchen window of her Boston apartment. The radiator hissed like it was tired of fighting winter. Her 7-year-old son, Noah, sat at the table in dinosaur pajamas, eating cereal with no milk because they had run out the night before. "Dry cereal is crunchy," Noah said, trying to sound positive. Sophia smiled, even though her heart hurt. "You are the bravest cereal critic in Boston." Noah grinned, and the entire room became warmer. That was what he did. He made hard things survivable. Sophia worked as an elementary school teacher. She graded papers after midnight, bought second-hand coats, stretched groceries until payday, and had mastered the art of smiling when bills arrived. She had been raising Noah alone since before he was born. No father, no family wealth, no safety net, just her, her son, and the small life she was determined to protect. Yesterday's charity event had been a rare opportunity. Her school had been invited to help with a children's art presentation. Wealthy donors loved handmade drawings from kids. Sophia had brought Noah because her babysitter canceled, and because he loved art more than anything. Then the panic happened. A gunshot outside, people screaming, security rushing everyone out. She had carried Noah through the snow without looking back. Now, standing in her kitchen, she remembered something. "Noah," she said slowly, "where's your drawing?" He looked up. "My lighthouse one?" "Yes." His spoon paused halfway to his mouth. "I thought you had it." Sophia's stomach tightened. "No, baby, I don't." His little face fell. "I left it at the big house?" Sophia moved quickly around the table and kissed his forehead. "It's okay, it was just paper." Noah shook his head. "It was important." Something about the way he said it made her pause. "Why?" He looked down at the cereal bowl. "Because I dreamed it." Sophia went still. Noah had always drawn things he dreamed. Most of them were harmless. Whales with crowns, houses with wings, oceans under the moon. But the lighthouse drawing had been different. He had drawn it over and over for weeks. The same lighthouse, the same broken crown, the same dark-eyed man. Sophia brushed hair away from his forehead. "It's okay," she whispered. "We'll make another one." Noah looked toward the window. Snow fell beyond the glass. "Mama?" "Yes?" Why was that man in my dream sad? Sophia did not know what to say, so she held him until it was time for school. The first gift arrived that afternoon. Sophia found it outside her apartment door after work. A new winter coat for Noah. Dark blue. Perfect size. Expensive. Too expensive. There was no box from a store, no delivery label, no receipt. Just a small white card tucked inside the sleeve. For the brave artist. Sophia stared at the words until her fingers went cold. Noah gasped behind her. "Mama, is that for me?" Sophia pulled him gently back. "Go inside." "But..." "Now, Noah." He obeyed because he heard something in her voice. Sophia looked down the hallway. Empty. Quiet. Too quiet. She brought the coat inside, but did not let Noah wear it. That night, after he fell asleep, she searched the apartment twice, checked the lock 3 times, and sat by the window watching the street. At 11:42 p.m., she saw it. A black SUV parked across the street. Headlights off. Engine running. Snow collecting on the roof. No one got out. No one moved. But Sophia knew. Someone was watching. By morning, the SUV was gone. At school, she tried to convince herself she was overreacting. Boston was full of black SUVs. Wealthy people donated gifts all the time. Maybe someone from the charity event had found Noah's drawing and wanted to be kind. But kindness did not usually come without a name. At lunch, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. A photo appeared. No text. Just an image of Noah's drawing. Sophia stopped breathing. Then a message followed. He is not safe. She dropped the phone. Across the classroom, children laughed over juice boxes and sandwiches. Outside, snow fell gently over the playground. Sophia picked up the phone with shaking fingers and typed, "Who is this?" The reply came instantly. "Someone who found what your son lost." Another message appeared. "Leave school through the east exit today, not the front." Sophia's heart began to race. "Why?" 3 dots appeared. Then, "Because the man waiting outside the front door is not mine." She looked through the classroom window toward the street. A gray sedan sat across from the school. A man inside watched the entrance. Sophia grabbed Noah before dismissal. Her principal asked questions. Sophia lied. Emergency appointment, family situation. She hated how easily panic made words sound normal. She left through the east exit with Noah's hand locked in hers. They had almost reached the side alley when the gray sedan screeched around the corner. Noah screamed. Sophia pulled him behind her. Before the sedan could stop, 2 black SUVs cut it off. Men in dark coats moved with frightening precision. One opened Sophia's passenger door. "Miss Bennett," he said calmly, "come with us." Sophia backed away. "No." The gray sedan door opened. A man stepped out holding something beneath his coat. The man from the SUV turned his head slightly. "Now would be better." Sophia looked at Noah. His face was pale. She made the decision every mother makes when fear becomes simple. She ran toward the black SUV. The door closed behind them. The vehicle sped away. Noah clung to her. "Mama, who are they?" Sophia looked at the silent driver. "Where are you taking us?" The man met her eyes in the rearview mirror. "To Mr. Moretti." Sophia had heard the name. Everyone in Boston had. Adrian Moretti. Real estate empire. Shipping fortune. Luxury hotels. Political connections. And whispers. Dark whispers. The kind people lowered their voices to repeat. Mafia. Power. Blood. Sophia tightened her arms around Noah. The city blurred outside the windows. And for the first time in her life, she understood that ordinary people did not always get a warning before powerful men entered their lives. Sometimes they arrived in black SUVs during a snowstorm. Adrian Moretti's mansion sat on a private hill overlooking the frozen harbor. It looked less like a home and more like a fortress built by someone who did not believe in rescue. Tall iron gates, stone walls, black cars, warm light glowing behind enormous windows. Sophia stepped out clutching Noah's hand. Snow fell softly around them. Her cheap boots sank into the white driveway. The front doors opened. Adrian stood at the top of the steps. He was not what she expected. That made him worse. Not loud, not cruel-looking, not theatrical. He was stillness in a black suit. Tall, broad-shouldered, dark-haired, with eyes so controlled they seemed almost empty. Men stood behind him, but none of them dared stand too close. Noah hid behind Sophia. Adrian's gaze dropped to the boy. Something flickered across his face. So fast Sophia almost missed it. Fine. Then it was gone. Sophia lifted her chin. "If you hurt my son, I will make sure you regret it." One of Adrian's men shifted. Adrian raised one hand slightly. Everyone froze. His eyes stayed on Sophia. I believe you. She expected mockery. Instead, his voice was calm, deep, almost respectful. Why did you bring us here? She demanded. Because someone else tried to take you. And you think taking us first makes you better? No. His honesty unsettled her. Noah peeked out from behind her coat. Adrian looked at him again. What is your name? Sophia stepped in front of Noah. Don't answer. Adrian's eyes returned to her. I know his name is Noah. Her stomach dropped. I know he is 7. I know he attends Hawthorne Elementary. I know you teach 2nd grade. I know you work 2 tutoring shifts a week. I know you buy groceries every Friday after school because the store discounts produce at 4. Sophia went cold. You've been watching us. Yes. Her hand flew before she thought. She slapped him. The sound cracked across the snowy steps. Every man behind Adrian moved. Adrian did not. His face turned slightly from the force of it. A red mark appeared along his cheekbone. Slowly, he looked back at her. His eyes were darker now. Not angry. Fascinated. Sophia's voice shook. Stay away from my child. Adrian studied her. Then he said, I'm trying to keep him alive. Noah whimpered softly. Sophia knelt immediately, pulling him close. It's okay. I've got you. Adrian watched them. The coldness in him shifted again, but he locked it down. Bring them inside, he said. Sophia stood. We're not staying. A gunshot cracked from somewhere beyond the gate. One of the mansion windows burst. Adrian moved before anyone else did. He grabbed Sophia and Noah, pulling them behind him as glass sprayed across the snow. His body covered them from the line of fire. Noah cried out. Adrian's hand hovered near the boy's head, then stopped, as if touching him required permission he had not earned. Sophia saw it. That restraint. That strange, painful restraint. Men rushed forward. The gates exploded with shouting, engines, snow, and gunfire. Adrian looked down at Sophia. Now, he said quietly, you are staying. The mansion felt like another world. Marble floors, dark wood, candlelight, security cameras, silent men with weapons hidden beneath designer coats. Sophia sat in a library large enough to hold her entire apartment building. Noah slept on a leather sofa beneath a cashmere blanket, exhausted from crying. Adrian stood near the fireplace, Noah's drawing in his hand. Sophia looked at it. How did you get that? It was found after the gala. Why does it matter? Adrian did not answer immediately. Firelight moved across his face. Where did he see this symbol? Sophia looked at the broken crown. He dreamed it. Adrian's jaw tightened. That is not possible. You clearly don't know children. His eyes lifted. For 1 second, something almost like amusement appeared, then vanished. Sophia. Her name sounded dangerous in his mouth. Too familiar. Too careful. You need to tell me everything about his father. She went still. No. Adrian watched her. You don't know who he is. I know enough. Do you? Heanga rose. I know he left before Noah was born. Name. She stood. You don't get to interrogate me. I do when your silence could get him killed. My silence has kept him safe for 7 years. No, Adrian said. It kept him hidden. There is a difference. Sophia stepped closer. I don't trust you. You shouldn't. Then why would I tell you anything? His gaze dropped briefly to Noah. When he spoke again, his voice changed. Lower, rougher, because the men after him will not stop at questions. Sophia's heart squeezed. She looked at her sleeping son, then at the drawing, then at the terrifying man who had shielded them with his body in the snow. Noah's father was a man named Daniel, she said quietly. I met him 8 years ago. He was kind, private. He said he worked in security. We were together for 3 months. Adrian became completely still. Sophia continued. One night he disappeared. 2 weeks later, I found out I was pregnant. I tried calling. His number was gone. His apartment was empty. It was like he never existed. What did he look like? Dark hair, dark eyes, a scar near his left shoulder. Adrian turned away, but not before Sophia saw his face. Recognition, horror, grief. What? She demanded. Adrian said nothing. What aren't you telling me? He placed Noah's drawing on the desk with careful hands. Daniel was not his name. Sophia's breath stopped. Who was he? Adrian turned back. His eyes were no longer empty. They were haunted. My younger brother. The words struck the room like thunder. Sophia stepped back. No. His name was Matteo Moretti. No. You're lying. I wish I were. The fire cracked. Noah stirred on the sofa but did not wake. Sophia pressed a hand to her mouth. The man she had loved briefly, foolishly, completely the man she had mourned privately, because there had never been a body, never an explanation, had been Adrian Moretti's brother. A mafia prince. A dead man. What happened to him? Sophia whispered. Adrian's expression turned cold again, as if pain was a door he refused to leave open. He was murdered. Her knees weakened. Adrian moved forward. She lifted a hand to stop him. He stopped instantly. That mattered. She hated that it mattered. By who? Vincent Russo. Sophia closed her eyes. And Noah? Adrian looked at the sleeping child. For the first time, his voice lost its perfect control. Noah is Moretti blood. By morning, Sophia's life no longer belonged to the world she understood. Noah was given a room bigger than their apartment, with shelves of books, warm blankets, and a security guard outside the door. Sophia refused breakfast. Adrian noticed. You need to eat. I need to leave. No. She laughed coldly. You say that very easily. I say it when necessary. You don't get to keep us. I am not keeping you. There are men outside our door, protecting you from a war I didn't ask to join. Adrian's eyes sharpened. No one asked to be born into a war. Sophia walked toward him, furious and shaking. My son is not a Moretti weapon. No. He is not your heir. No. He is not some lost piece of your family empire. Adrian's jaw tightened. No. Then what is he to you? The silence stretched. Adrian looked past her toward Noah's room. Then he said quietly, the last thing my brother left behind. Sophia's anger faltered. Not disappeared, but faltered. Because beneath his power, beneath the black suit and controlled voice and armed men, she saw something else. A man standing before a closed door he had never expected to open. Grief and fear. You didn't know, she whispered. No. You thought Matteo died with no child. Yes. And now? His eyes returned to hers. Now every enemy I have will want him. Sophia wrapped her arms around herself. Why? Adrian walked to the desk and opened a locked drawer. Inside was an old photograph. 2 boys, one older, one younger. Adrian and Matteo. Beside them stood an elderly man wearing a gold ring with the broken crown symbol. Our grandfather created a trust before he died, Adrian said. Not money, territory, shipping routes, political protections, safe houses, accounts, things that keep families alive or destroy them. Sophia stared at him. The inheritance passes through Matteo's bloodline if one exists. Her mouth went dry. Noah. Yes. And Russo knows? He suspects. Sophia looked toward the hallway. My son is 7. I know. He likes dinosaurs and pancakes. I know. He cries when cartoon dogs get lost. Adrian's face tightened. I know. Her eyes snapped back to him. How? He looked away. Sophia understood. You've been watching him. To protect him? No. Her voice broke. You don't get to turn every violation into protection. He looked at her then, and for once, he did not defend himself. You're right. The answer cut through her anger. She wanted him to argue, wanted him to be purely monstrous. It would have been easier. Instead, he stood there accepting her hatred like he deserved it. I will not apologize for keeping him alive, he said, but I will apologize for making you afraid. Sophia did not know what to do with that, so she turned away. Behind her, Adrian added, Your apartment was compromised last night. She froze. Russo's men entered after you left. They found Noah's school bag, his drawings, your photographs. Sophia felt the room tilt. Adrian's voice became colder. They know what he looks like now. Forced proximity was not romantic at first. It was suffocating. Sophia lived inside Adrian's mansion like a bird refusing to sing. She slept in the room beside Noah's and pushed a chair beneath the doorknob, even though 3 armed men stood guard in the hall. She ate only food she watched being prepared. She refused the expensive clothes left for her. She refused gifts. She refused comfort. Adrian did not push. That disturbed her more. He was everywhere and nowhere. A shadow at the end of the hallway. A voice behind closed office doors. A black coat crossing the snowy gardens at midnight. He never entered her room. Never touched Noah without asking. Never raised his voice. But his protection was absolute. When Noah asked for crayons, 3 boxes appeared. When Sophia mentioned Noah needed his inhaler from home, It was retrieved within an hour. When she complained that Noah was scared of the silent guards, Adrian replaced them with a grandmotherly housekeeper named Rosa during the day. When Noah asked who Adrian was, Sophia answered before Adrian could. He's someone helping us for now. Noah looked at Adrian. Are you scary? Sophia nearly choked. Adrian looked down at him. To some people. Are you scary to us? The room went silent. Adrian crouched slowly, keeping distance. No. Noah studied him. Promise? Adrian's face changed. A promise from a man like him was not small. I promise. Sophia felt something twist in her chest. Later that night, she found Adrian in the glass-walled room overlooking the frozen harbor. Snow fell beyond the windows. He stood alone with a glass of whiskey he had not touched. You shouldn't make promises to children unless you know you can keep them, Sophia said. I keep mine. Always? He looked at her reflection in the glass. No. The honesty surprised her. My brother made promises too, he said. He promised me he was done with this life. He promised he would disappear. He promised he would never fall in love with someone innocent. Sophia's throat tightened. He never told me? He was trying to save you from us. He failed. Yes. She expected cruelty in the word. There was only grief. Sophia stepped closer. What was he like before all this? Adrian's eyes stayed on the snow. Kind, reckless. Too willing to believe love could make a clean man out of someone born dirty. Sophia swallowed. He was gentle with me. I know. That should have angered her. Instead, she heard the pain in it. Adrian had known his brother's gentleness. Lost it. Found its echo in Noah. She looked down. Noah draws him sometimes, she whispered. Not his face, just a man standing far away. Adrian closed his eyes briefly. When he opened them, they were colder. Russo took that from him. Sophia looked up. Do not turn my son into revenge. Adrian turned. His gaze was intense enough to make her breath catch. I am trying very hard not to. The air shifted. Sophia became suddenly aware of the space between them. The snow, the darkness, his controlled breathing, her own heartbeat. He was dangerous. She knew that. She feared him. She also felt, against every rational instinct, that if danger came through the door, he would place himself in front of it without hesitation. That kind of certainty was seductive, terrifyingly so. Adrian seemed to realize the same thing. He stepped back first. You should sleep. Sophia almost laughed. You order people around when you're uncomfortable. Yes. At least you admit it. I admit many things. It saves time. She shook her head, but she was smiling when she left. He saw it. And after she disappeared down the hallway, Adrian stood alone in the dark, staring at the place where she had been. For the first time in years, wanting something felt more dangerous than losing it. The attack came at Noah's school Christmas recital. Sophia had insisted on going. Noah had practiced for weeks. He was supposed to stand on stage with his classmates wearing paper antlers and sing about snowmen. The idea of disappointing him broke her heart. Adrian refused at first. Sophia refused his refusal. He has already lost enough normal, she said. You don't get to take this too. So Adrian arranged security around the school, so quietly, no parent noticed. Black cars parked 2 blocks away. Plainclothes guards in winter coats. Emergency exits covered. Sophia sat in the auditorium with Noah's class parents, aware of Adrian standing at the back wall in a dark suit beneath a wool coat. He looked absurdly out of place among paper decorations and folding chairs. But Noah waved at him from the stage. Adrian went still. Then, after a long moment, lifted one hand. Small, awkward, Uman. Sophia saw it and felt her chest tighten. Halfway through the song, the lights flickered. Adrian moved before anyone else reacted. A side door opened. A man entered wearing a maintenance jacket. Sophia saw the weapon beneath it. Adrian crossed the auditorium in silence. The man never reached the stage. Parents gasped as Adrian slammed him into the wall and disarmed him with brutal precision. A second man appeared near the back exit. One of Adrian's guards intercepted him. The children began crying. Noah looked directly at Sophia. Mama. Sophia ran for the stage. Chaos broke around them. Adrian reached Noah first. He lifted the boy into his arms and turned, shielding him with his body as another shot shattered the auditorium window. Sophia froze. The image burned itself into her forever. Adrian Moretti, feared Mafia Boss, standing beneath paper snowflakes with her child in his arms, blood on his cheek from broken glass, eyes colder than death, as he protected Noah from men who wanted to use him. Then his gaze found hers. Run. This time, Sophia did not argue. They escaped through a back hallway into the snow. Adrian carried Noah until they reached the SUV. Noah clung to his neck. Adrian looked shaken by the small arms around him. Not weak. Shocking. As if the child had placed trust in a part of him that did not know how to exist. In the car, Noah whispered, "You promised." Adrian's jaw tightened. "Yes, you kept it." Adrian looked out the window. Sophia saw his throat move. "Yes." She reached for Noah's hand. Her fingers brushed Adrian's sleeve. For 1 second, neither moved. Then Adrian gently released Noah to her. But the moment stayed. Something had changed, and all three of them knew it. Russo sent a message that night. A box arrived at the mansion gates. Inside was Noah's school drawing folder. Every page marked with a red X. Sophia nearly collapsed when she saw it. Adrian's face became something terrifying. He gave orders in Italian. Men moved. Cars left. Phones rang. Sophia followed him into his office. "What are you going to do? What is necessary?" "That's not an answer. It is the safest one." "No." She stepped closer. "You don't get to disappear into violence and leave me guessing." His eyes snapped to hers. "This is not your world. He is my son. He is my blood." The words hit like a slap. Sophia went silent. Adrian's face changed instantly. "Regret, but too late." "My son," she whispered. "Sophia." "No. You don't get to claim him because of blood. Blood didn't hold him when he had fever. Blood didn't teach him to tie his shoes. Blood didn't sit up all night cutting coupons so he could have birthday cupcakes at school." Adrian looked like she had struck him harder than any enemy could. "You're right." Her breath shook. "You keep saying that because you keep being right." The honesty broke the edge of her anger. He moved closer, slowly. "I do not want to take him from you, but you want him." The silence answered. Sophia looked away. Her heart ached with a complicated, impossible emotion. Jealousy, fear, pity, understanding. Adrian wanted a family he had not known existed, but he wanted it like a man who had only ever been taught to possess what he feared losing. "You can't love someone like territory," she said. His voice was low. "I don't know another way." Sophia looked at him then. The confession stood naked between them. Not romantic, not safe, but real. She should have stepped away. Instead, she whispered, "Then learn." Adrian stared at her. For one suspended heartbeat, he looked like he might touch her. His hand lifted, stopped inches from her face. He lowered it. "I am trying." That restraint undid her more than any touch could have. Then Matteo burst into the room. "We found Russo's inside man." Adrian turned cold again. "Who?" Matteo's eyes flickered to Sophia. Adrian's voice sharpened. "Who?" Matteo answered. "Daniel Crane, Sophia's former principal." Sophia's blood went cold. Daniel Crane had hired her, had known Noah since kindergarten, had helped her with rent once when she was desperate. A man she had trusted had been feeding information to Russo. The betrayal hit so deep she had to grab the desk. Adrian was beside her instantly, but stopped before touching her. Sophia looked up at him. "Bring him here." Adrian's eyes darkened. "Sophia, I want to ask him myself." "No." "Yes." The room went silent. Adrian studied her. Then he nodded once. "As you wish." It was the first time he gave her power inside his world, and it frightened them both. Daniel Crane arrived, bleeding from the lip but alive. Sophia stood across from him in Adrian's underground garage, coat wrapped tightly around her, Adrian beside her like a shadow made of violence. Daniel would not look at her. "How could you?" Sophia asked. He swallowed. "They offered money. For my son? I didn't know at first. But you knew later." Silence. Sophia's eyes burned. "You watched him draw pictures. You helped him with his backpack. You smiled at me." Daniel's voice cracked. "I have debts." Sophia stared at him. Then she laughed once, broken. "We all have debts." Adrian's face remained calm, but his eyes were murderous. Daniel finally looked at him. "Russo knows about the inheritance. He knows the boy can unlock it when he turns 8. Sophia froze. "When he turns 8? Adrian went still beside her. Daniel continued, trembling. "There's a biometric trust, bloodline verification, and a voice phrase. Matteo recorded half before he died. The child has the other half." Sophia whispered, "Noah sings in his sleep." Adrian looked at her. "What?" "There's a song. He's sung it since he was little. I thought he made it up. Adrian's face changed. Matteo had left the key inside his son's lullaby. The truth was suddenly horrifyingly clear. Russo did not just want Noah alive. He wanted him old enough to open the Moretti inheritance, and then disposable. Sophia backed away, shaking. Adrian turned to his men. "Leave us." Everyone obeyed. Even Daniel was dragged out. Sophia stood in the cold garage, fighting for breath. Adrian faced her. "I will end this. How many people will die? As many as necessary. That's exactly what I'm afraid of." His jaw tightened. "You think mercy will protect him?" "No. I think if Noah grows up, surrounded by revenge, Russo still wins." Adrian said nothing. Sophia stepped closer. "You want to protect him? Then don't just keep him breathing. Give him a life." His eyes held hers. "You think I know how?" "No," she whispered. "But I think you want to." There it was again. The impossible pull. Two people standing in a world made of blood and snow, trying not to want what could ruin them. Adrian reached out slowly. This time, Sophia did not move away. His fingers touched her cheek. Barely. Reverently. As if he expected her to vanish. "You make me afraid," he said. Sophia's breath caught. "You?" "Yes." "Why?" "Because now I have something Russo can take." Her eyes filled. "Adrian." He closed his eyes when she said his name. The moment almost became something else. Then Noah's scream echoed through the mansion. Both of them ran. Noah had vanished from his room. The window was open. Snow blew across the carpet. A small toy dinosaur lay on the floor. Sophia's scream tore through the house. Adrian became something inhumanly calm. No shouting. No panic. Just orders delivered with lethal precision. The entire city locked down within minutes. Ports, airstrips, roads, hotels, warehouses. Every Moretti contact moved. Sophia stood in Noah's room, holding his dinosaur against her chest. Adrian entered quietly. She turned on him. "You promised." The words broke him. She saw it. Not on his face. In his eyes. He looked like Noah had shot him through the heart. "I will bring him back." "You promised him." His voice dropped. "I know." Sophia stepped closer, trembling with fury and terror. "If anything happens to my son..." "I know," he said. "No, you don't. You don't know what it is to love someone from the moment they exist inside you. You don't know what it is to build your whole world around one small heartbeat." Adrian's voice was rough. "No, I don't." That stopped her. He looked at the open window. "But I know what it is to look at him and feel my brother breathe again." Sophia's anger cracked into grief. Adrian turned back to her. "And I know if Russo harms him, there will be nothing left of me worth saving." Sophia stared at him. For the first time, she saw the full truth. Adrian was not protecting Noah because of inheritance. Not anymore. He loved him. In his damaged, frightening, possessive way, he loved him. And maybe, God help her, he was beginning to love her too. A phone rang. Adrian answered. Russo's voice came through on speaker. "Beautiful child, Moretti. Quiet, polite, has your brother's eyes." Sophia covered her mouth. Adrian's face went blank. "Where?" "Old Harbor Chapel, midnight. Bring the mother. Bring the access documents. No soldiers." Adrian's voice was soft. "If he cries..." Russo laughed. "You're emotional now. I like it." The line went dead. Sophia looked at Adrian. "I'm going." "No." "Yes. He wants you to." "I know. That is why you cannot. That is why I have to." Adrian stepped closer. "I cannot protect you both if you walk willingly into his hands." Sophia's eyes filled, but her voice did not break. "Then don't protect us like property. Protect us like family." Adrian went still. Family. The words seemed to cut through every locked door inside him. Finally, he nodded. Together then, the Old Harbor Chapel stood at the edge of Boston's industrial waterfront, surrounded by fog, snow, and black water. Midnight bells rang from a church no one used anymore. Sophia walked beside Adrian through the open doors. No guards visible. No weapons visible. But she knew Adrian. The darkness itself probably belonged to him. Inside, candles burned along the aisle. Russo stood near the altar in a gray coat. Noah sat beside him, pale but alive. "Mama." Sophia took one step forward. Russo lifted a hand. Adrian caught her wrist gently. The touch was firm, not controlling, anchoring. Russo smiled. The lost Moretti child. The grieving mother. The cold king finally bleeding. Very touching. Adrian's voice was quiet. Let him go. After he sings. Sophia's stomach dropped. Russo placed a small recorder on the altar. Noah, he said softly, sing the song. Noah looked at Sophia. She forced herself to smile through terror. It's okay, baby. His little voice trembled as he began. A lullaby in Italian. The one Sophia never understood. Adrian's face changed with every note. Because he knew the song. Matteo had sung it as a child. Sophia saw Adrian's grief, his rage, his wonder. Noah finished. The device beeped. Somewhere, a hidden account opened. Russo smiled. Thank you. He raised his gun. Sophia moved before thought. So did Adrian. A shot rang out. Adrian pulled Noah behind him, while Sophia threw herself toward her son. Men crashed through the stained glass windows. Not Russo's men. Adrian's. Gunfire erupted through the chapel. Candles fell. Glass shattered. Snow blew inside. Adrian fought like a man who had already decided the world could burn if it touched them. Sophia grabbed Noah and dragged him behind the altar. Russo lunged toward them. Sophia picked up a fallen candlestick and swung with everything she had. It struck his wrist. The gun fell. Russo snarled and grabbed her arm. Adrian saw. The entire chapel seemed to darken around him. He crossed the distance with terrifying speed and tore Russo away from her. The fight was brutal, fast, and final. When it ended, Russo lay defeated beneath the broken altar steps. Adrian stood over him, breathing hard, blood on his shirt, eyes empty of mercy. Sophia held Noah, watching. She knew what Adrian wanted to do. She also knew Noah was watching. Adrian, she said. One word. His name. He froze. Sophia shook her head softly. Not here. Not in front of him. For a moment, his entire body fought the command. Then Adrian lowered his weapon. His men took Russo away. Sophia realized what had just happened. Adrian Moretti, feared across the world, had stopped because she asked him to. Noah ran to him. Adrian looked startled as the boy wrapped both arms around his waist. You came, Noah whispered. Adrian's hand hovered above his head. Then slowly, carefully, he rested it on Noah's hair. I promised. Sophia watched them through tears. And something inside her finally surrendered. Not to danger, not to power, to the impossible truth that love sometimes arrived wearing the face of everything you feared. Spring came slowly to Boston. The snow melted from rooftops. The harbor turned silver. Russo's empire collapsed under evidence Adrian released to the right people at the right time. The inheritance never became a throne. Adrian placed it into a trust under Sophia's control until Noah came of age. Not the family, not the empire, Sophia. When she asked why, Adrian said, because you are the only one who never wanted it. She moved back to her apartment at first. Adrian did not stop her. That surprised her most. He sent guards, but kept them invisible. He sent groceries once, and Sophia sent them back. He sent Noah a box of crayons, and Sophia let him keep those. Weeks passed. Then one rainy evening, Sophia found Adrian standing across the street from her apartment, beneath a black umbrella, watching the building. She opened the front door and stepped outside. You know this is creepy. Yes, yet you're still doing it. I am working on boundaries. From across the street, it seemed like progress. She tried not to smile. Failed. He saw it. Something softened in his eyes. Noah appeared behind Sophia, wearing dinosaur socks. Adrian. He ran across the sidewalk before Sophia could stop him. Adrian crouched as Noah crashed into him. The umbrella tilted, rain soaking his shoulder. He did not seem to notice. Sophia stood in the doorway, watching the most dangerous man she had ever known hold her son like something sacred. Later that night, after Noah fell asleep, Sophia found Adrian in her small kitchen. He looked too large for the room, too expensive, too dangerous, too careful. You don't fit here, she said. No. Do you hate it? No. Why? He looked around at the peeling paint, the old table, the magnets on the fridge, the stack of school papers. Because he laughs here. Sophia's chest tightened. And you? His eyes returned to her. I breathe differently here. The room went quiet. Rain tapped against the window. Sophia stepped closer. I'm still afraid of your world. You should be. I'm afraid of what loving you could cost. His jaw tightened. So am I. I won't be owned. No. I won't let Noah become part of your empire. No. I won't let you decide my life because you're scared. Adrian's voice was low. I know. She looked at him. Do you? He stepped closer, then stopped. Always that restraint now. Always the choice. I have spent my life taking what I needed before it could be taken from me, he said. I do not know how to love without wanting to guard every door. Sophia whispered. Then start with opening one. Adrian looked at her for a long time. Then he reached into his coat and placed a key on the table. Sophia frowned. What is that? The mansion. Her heart sank. Adrian, it is yours. No, not as a cage, not as a claim, a school. She stared at him. He continued. For children who need safety, art rooms, therapy, music, whatever you decide. Noah said children draw better when they are not afraid. Sophia's eyes filled. You talk to him about that? He talks. I listen. Her laugh broke into a tear. Adrian looked at her like her tears hurt him physically. I do not know how to give small things, he said. I noticed. I can learn. Sophia picked up the key. Not because of the mansion, because of what it meant. The man who once protected by controlling was learning to protect by giving. She stepped toward him. This time, she touched his face first. Adrian closed his eyes. The feared mafia boss standing in her tiny kitchen, undone by one gentle hand. I don't know what we become, she whispered. His eyes opened. Then we become it slowly. Sophia smiled. Slowly might be difficult for you. Excruciating. She laughed. And then she kissed him. Softly at first. Testing the edge of danger. Adrian did not grab. Did not take. He waited until she leaned closer. Only then did his hands settle carefully at her waist, as if devotion had finally taught possession how to kneel. Months later, the Moretti mansion reopened under a new name. The Bennett House. A sanctuary for children of violence, grief, and impossible secrets. The ballroom where Noah had lost his drawing became an art room filled with sunlight. The private study became Sophia's office. The walls held children's paintings instead of old weapons. And above the fireplace, framed in simple wood, hung the drawing that had started everything. The lighthouse. The woman. The boy. The man beneath the broken crown. Only now, Noah had added something new. A door. Open. One winter evening, snow fell over Boston again. Sophia stood in the mansion garden watching Noah build a snowman, while Adrian stood beside her in a black coat, hands in his pockets, expression unreadable to anyone but her. Noah waved. Adrian lifted one hand back, still a little awkward, still learning. Sophia smiled. You're getting better. At waving? At belonging. He looked at her. The snow softened the sharp lines of his face. I belong to you, he said quietly. Sophia's breath caught. Adrian. Not as property, he said. Not as debt. Not as bloodline. As choice. She reached for his hand. He took it. Across the garden, Noah shouted, Look, I made him a crown. The snowman wore a crooked crown of twigs. Not broken. Whole. Adrian stared at it for a long moment. Then, to Sophia's surprise, he laughed. A real laugh. Low. Brief. Beautiful. Sophia leaned against him as snow fell around them, the mansion glowing behind them, the city beyond it still dangerous, still full of shadows. But inside the gates, children were laughing. Noah was safe. Adrian was no longer alone. And Sophia understood at last that the drawing had not been a warning. It had been a map. A child's map through grief, danger, blood, and fear, leading them all home.